basically the reporting or performance analytics, all this is the data visualization. Generally people just open the ServiceNow tables and then extract the excels and share that with the stakeholders. That is all a very manual thing. It's like there won't be any visualization, it's just the rows and columns of records, that's all. But this was previously, before we had this performance analytics modules in ServiceNow. That is what in the other older versions people used to do. But there won't be any visualization. But the main goal of reporting and performance analytics is the visualization. Whatever the view it is, it can be okay. I will show that in the slides. Okay, and the story of four stakeholders. So here we have end user and frontline worker. If suppose the development team who works on creating the dashboards, widgets, reports, all that stuff. And here we have service owner and executive. So frontline worker, how will it be useful for the frontline worker? All these reports and dashboards, how come it will be useful for them? So by visualizing whatever the reports after the generation of reports, so based on the scores and trend of data and all that, by viewing, they will understand which should be prioritized and which should not be prioritized, which can be done in the later stages. So all that, the overall view of their work, they can see it in the dashboard. If I have to give you an example, so IT service desk team works on the tickets. In ServiceNow, tickets is nothing but incidents. If we come to the IT service management module, so it all works on the incidents. They should work on the incidents and resolve it after taking the confirmation from end user. So all this they can prioritize using the performance analytics. And with that, there'll be high customer satisfaction and service improvement as well. All that we will see. How come there will be an improvement? Everything we can in the further sessions we can see that. And executive, how will it be useful for an executive? He can just see the oversight of it. Just by looking at the dashboard or the report, he will come to know what is the performance, whether it is decreasing or than the last month, or it is more than the last month, or what can be done to increase the performance. Everything he'll get to know just by looking at the dashboard. That's the best part about performance analytics. And how will it be useful for the end user, the report or dashboard? So it is highly transparency, high visibility. When we follow as per the agile methodology, it's like agile principle is high, there should be high visibility and everything should be transparent. So using this dashboards, they can see everything. We need not hide anything, so that will be very transparent. And how will it be useful for the service owner? If at all the performance is decreased from the last day to today, number of tickets resolved, the ticket resolution percentage, so he will get to know the percentage last month, last before month, and this month, today, yesterday. Everything we can see using performance analytics. So by checking that, he will follow different methodology to increase the productivity by checking the performance every now and then. Yeah, so business service analytics. So here in performance
So,
analytics,
Aishwarya,
yeah,
just wanted to clear my understanding. I've been going through
okay.
ServiceNow PA since last 1 week, and wherever I go, I see this incident-related example only. So, just wanted to make sure that it is not only related to, it doesn't only help incident-related reports or the visualization. It can be anything else as well, right?
That's a great question. Thank you for raising that question. Yes, I just took incident as an example. Performance analytics, dash visualization or reports or dashboards, whatever you say, that can be done on any table in ServiceNow. Any table. incident, problem, change. If you're going to create any custom table, that can also be done. And any like customer service management, CSM, on that also we can create reports, knowledge management, problem management, everything. It's like any table. If you just have the table name and you have the data or records in the table, if you want to visualize something out of that table records, then you can go ahead and do that.
Okay,
I
okay.
hope
So
this
will you
answered your question.
also give like next time onwards, can you also include some other example? Because I have as I told you, like I have seen this incident example everywhere, but I would like to, see other examples also apart from
Yes, yes,
incident.
not at all
Okay,
a problem.
thank you.
Yes, not at all a problem. We can do what if you want, if you're expecting something else, surely you can ask that. We can do that in the sessions. It is all kind of flexible. We can do anything.
Okay, thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
No problem at all. And it's like if we see the process and functionality, everything, how it works for one table, it's the same process for each and everything. It's just that the table name differs. That's all. Nothing much different. We can do for any table and anything. Okay. Yeah, and in the performance analytics, it's like systematic data collection, nothing but it's like historic and daily collection of data. It's like if, okay, I will tell the difference between reporting and performance analytics in the coming slides. Here, it's like I'll just tell that yes, we collect the data. Data collection is nothing but if we are considering a particular table, again, if suppose problem table, yes, all the problem records, we have to collect that, right? If we are not collecting that, then what are we going to visualize or what are we going to retrieve to the reporter dashboard? We have to see something over there. That means we should have the data. So that means we should collect the data. So all this process should go on. We will see later how all that works. And then new process insights and improved outcomes. So improved outcomes means like availability of services, improved availability of services, or how to reduce the cost, and the continuous service improvement. All these are the benefits of using the performance analytics. And align the organization with company goals. So company will set some targets and goals. So we have to reach that targets. So that can also be done. We can align according to the company goals by setting the targets. So that also we can see. If now you will not understand if I talk more about it. And yeah, what is ServiceNow Performance Analytics? As I just said, here is the visualization. See, Performance Analytics visualizes business process performance trends and summaries for continual service improvement. Here is just a glimpse of it. Like, see, incidents resolved in time. This is a score type of visualization. For now, you can just understand that. And this is a different type of visualization. And these are the line type, and this is a bar type. So it's a different sort of visualization. Any visualizations is possible. And yes, how does this performance analytics work? Yeah, so we first create indicators to represent KPI is nothing but key performance indicators. Indicators are nothing but metrics. It is basically the metrics to measure the performance. And these are used by the businesses to measure the current conditions and to forecast the business trends. What is the current performance, and to forecast the trends also, it is useful. Indicator is the major and very important and crucial thing of performance analytics. Without indicator, there is no performance analytics. That is how important the indicators are. It is a metric. For now you can understand it as a performance metric. And yeah, after creating the indicator, then the second step is we need to collect the data. As I just said, without data there is nothing which we can do. And once we create an indicator based on a particular table, if suppose now consider knowledge table, so we are creating indicator considering as the knowledge table. Now you are going to collect the data of that table which we have chosen, that is knowledge. Collect all the data. And then the third step is, this is the high level view. Like, just to make you understand, yes, okay, this is how perform what this is performance analytics, this is the high level view of it. Now the third step is build process trend visualizations. So here they have given bar graph. We can visualize it however the customer wants it to be. Customer might ask you anything. If he wants in that view, we can make it as that. Whatever he wants us to do, we can do that. So yeah, these are the three steps how it works. And as I just told, right, indicators, yeah, I just asked you to consider it as performance metrics. Indicators are nothing but that. So used to measure and improve the service health and related business outcomes. Okay. And yeah, we have something like leading and lagging indicators. Leading and lagging is nothing but uh, see, here you will understand. It's like if we are considering number of open incidents for today, let's suppose that it is 231 as it says over here, and number of technicians for unassigned incidents, that means incidents which are not assigned to any person, assigned to field is empty. Those kind of incidents are 71. So these all are the direct value. We are not measuring anything, doing some calculations, nothing. We are just retrieving the incident table, and we are seeing number of unassigned incidents and populating the value here. So these are the kind of inputs. So these are called leading indicators, and which gives the direct input without measuring anything, sum or count or average or all these. We're not doing any such stuff here. We just direct count it is, that's all. And coming to lagging indicators, it's like the objective of lagging indicators is to reduce the whatever the resolution time, or reduce the performance, or whatever. It's like it should reduce average age of open incidents. So it is 42. It's like it should keep on decreasing, right? We don't want the incidents to increase the resolution time. We always want the resolution time to decrease. That means the performance is increasing. So we are calculating the average count, sum, all this stuff comes under the lagging indicators. We will understand more on this in the coming sessions, not a problem. And coming to the process trend, so performance analytics is all about the trend, showing the trend. It's like all the points for today. What is the open incidence count? What is the open incident count yesterday? What's the open incident count on the other day? So combining all these points, it will form a flow of line. So if you combine all the points, it will become a line, right? In the same way, the trend that is what is trend is. If you combine the data of all the days from past 3 months, then it will form a line or a flow, which is called a trend. It is nothing but ordered sequence of processes, measurements taken continuously over a period of time. And the targets and thresholds, we can discuss in later sessions, I feel. Okay, nothing but targets means so here you can see, I think it's little blur here. Target, it's like here you can see it as 220, right? That is the score. For now, you just understand that that is the 220 is the score. And what the customer asked for is, no, we want it to be reduced to 200. Performance is very low. Please decrease it, increase the performance. To increase the performance, we should decrease this count, whatever the resolution count. So then what will an agent do, like a development team who creates the report? They will go ahead and set the target to 200. So now the gap is 20. That means the performance should increase. All the agents will see, okay, the target is set to 200. By the end of this month, we should reach that target. That means we should focus on that. That is what the target means. So to increase the business, to reach the business target or business goals.
Right.
So
So
here
I
come,
have I
yeah.
have a question. What was the target? How did the organization actually calculate that target? Is it number of tickets? Is it time? What's
Okay.
220 versus 200?
Yeah, good question. Good question. Okay. So if we take number of number of open incidents. If you see here, it is 231 is the number of open incidents. But for this, we cannot set any target. Open incidents, it all depends on the end users, how many incidents they raise and all that. Here we cannot set any, that is a normal thing wherein we cannot set any target. But coming to average age of open incidents is there, right? That means like incident should not be open for a very long time. It should get completed within very less time or within the prescribed SLA, service level agreement duration. So here it is 42 days, right? So now customer, whatever the stakeholders or customers, if they feel no, it is taking long time, the average age of open instance shouldn't be 42, please it should reduce to 40. If they tell that, if we take another example, average resolution time, how much time are the agents taking to resolve the incident? They shouldn't take much time, they should complete it within the prescribed SLA. So if at all customer feels that no, these people are taking long time to resolve the incidents, here I can see the score as 42, this is not happening as per the our company goals, then they will tell something to the our manager, like no, reduce it to 35. Then manager will come to us and set that target to us. Then we can go ahead and set that target in the performance analytics dashboard. That is what which we can do. We can set the target to 30 so that everyone can see, okay, target is set to 30, so the gap is 7, 42 minus 35, which will be 7. So we should reduce this by this month. Everyone can see that, okay, there is a gap, we should work on it. So people focus on that. So it works like that. Hope I cleared your question. If you have any more questions, it will be cleared for sure in the next session.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we just discussed about Ren, right? So here comes the beautiful question. So whatever the interview attend anywhere, if you attend any interview on ServiceNow, and if they're asking any question about performance analytics, before going to performance analytics, the first question they ask is, why do you want performance analytics when we already have a reporting module in ServiceNow? Hope you guys know what reporting is. If you do not know, we can discuss that first and then go to performance analytics from Monday. For now, I'll just give a glimpse, that's all. So yeah, we have a reporting module in ServiceNow, wherein that also is used to visualize the data. So when that is there, then why do we have performance analytics? So the reason is, see, as you can read here, the snapshot of the process measured at a specific time, nothing but the current. See, if I have to take an example, um, okay, number of open incidents today, that's all. That we can see using reporting. What is the open incident count yesterday? That we cannot see using reporting. The reason is, in the reporting we just can see the current data, because we are not collecting the data in reporting. But in performance analytics, we are collecting the data. What data we are collecting? We are collecting the current data, that means today's data. And we are also collecting the historic data. That means if we want to collect the data of past 3 months, yes, we can go ahead and create a job for that. If you want 1 year data, yes, you can go, whatever. It is all based upon the customer requirement. So we can also have access to the historical data. Historical, I hope you got my point. Means past data, whatever the 3 months data, 4 months data, 2 years data, whatever it is. So we have access to that in performance analytics. So we can achieve that requirement. What? The open incidents on, what are the open incident count in the past 3 months, like on that particular date. So that we can easily tell by using analytics. But coming to reports, no, that there is no possibility for that, because we can only see the current data. There is no option to access the historical data. I hope for this point of time you got what I'm trying to
So in
explain.
report, basically in report we get combined data, right? Like, not only today's or present data, but we can put a query, just for a, suppose I need a data for a week's time, then I can put a query accordingly, and I can, maybe I won't be able to see what's the data for each and every day, but I can get a combined data, right, in reports.
Yeah, the good question. The by this I understand that you know reporting. That's great. Okay. Yeah. So in the as you told, we can query in the what reporting module. Okay. You have the filter opened on last 3 months, opened on last 1 year. You have this query updated on last month. You have this. That's all. Other than that, to see the live data, what is the count on that day, what is the count on this day, all this nothing you can see. It's just that the overall data you get, that's all. Other than that, if you want to see the count of open incidents last month, then how would you see that? That is not possible using reporting.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that is not possible using reporting. See here, see describes the process right now, and this describes the process over a period of time. Whatever the customization is, everything we can see that. And yeah, so what all we talked, it is in this pictorial representation. So where are we today? This can be seen using reporting, that's all. Then where are we yesterday, where are we later, all that cannot be seen using reporting. But using performance analytics we can see all the other stuff, like where were we before, did we improve, we can, I just showed that, right? The it will show the performance also, whether it is increasing, decreasing, everything. So where did we improve, where we want to improve, how can we improve, everything. How do we get there quicker, we can see all that stuff. And this is again a pictorial representation of what we talk current data. And see, we can only see current data using reporting, and using PAs we can see what is the data on January, and in February, in March. So by seeing this we will get to know whether we improved or not. We'll go ahead and just hover on January, then we can see the count of average resolution time on January, then February, then March. So then we will obviously understand, right, whether we have increased or we have decreased or where are we. But using reporting, we cannot track the performance, or we cannot do anything as such like that. And coming to performance analytics roles, so for every module in ServiceNow we have the specific roles to that modules, right? So in the same way we do have the roles for performance analytics. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so the major role is PA admin. So generally, if you know about ServiceNow, we have leave about performance analytics. So I'm talking in general. In ServiceNow, we have an admin role. If one has an admin role, then he has access to everything in ServiceNow, even the system properties, all the configurations. He can create any record in any table, he can configure that particular record, do any adjustments, customize anything. So in one word, he has access to everything and anything, the admin role, if one has the admin role. Don't worry, you do not know about ServiceNow, right? One of you, in both of you. So we can see once we see the instance and roles and how it works, I'll show everything, what role is everything, we can see that, no, not a problem. So for now, yes, admin will have all that roles. But let me clear this point again. You might get confused. We have a role like security admin. Okay, so admin will have access to everything and anything is what I mentioned. But this is wrong. It is correct, but then there is a one point which I have. I should also mention. There is a security admin role. So in order to, if you are aware of it, access control lists, which is there to restrict the access. Okay, so we have performance analytics, you suppose. So I don't want ITIL, some specific users to see this performance analytics module and to see some incident record, incident table itself. I don't want some persons to see incident module itself. They should not be able to raise incidents. So what I will do, I will go ahead and restrict that particular user in seeing that table. So we can restrict the access, we can give the access, we can restrict the access to the records in ServiceNow. That is called access control lists in ServiceNow. So in order to create an access control list for a particular table, you need to have security underscore admin role. So this is majorly asked interview question. Admin, so they will ask like this. So you have admin role, right? Can you also create ACLs then? No, answer is no. We should, though we have admin role, we should also have security admin role in order to create what ACLs. So this is majorly asked interview question. I will tell in detail about that in the later sessions. Okay, for then coming to PA roles, so admin will have every role, like they can create performance analytics also. But I have admin role. But what about the other teams? Change management team, for suppose they will not have admin role because they don't need it. They don't do any development work. It's just that they go through the change management process. So in order to do that, they also would need to create some reports on their own. If that is the case, then we can give them this PA underscore admin role. This, if we give this role, they will have access to this performance analytics. All the submodules of performance analytics, and they will not have access to any other modules like other customization scripts and everything. They will not have access to. So in that case, we can give PA admin role to them. And we have these sub roles also. This is the high role, wherein they will have access to even system properties of performance analytics. And coming to the data collector, they will only have now you might not understand these. For now, let us only focus on PA admin, that's all. So they will have access to all the submodules of performance analytics. So here is the clear picture, no problem, I will share this with you guys. So CPA underscore admin, what all they have, see, everything is tick. That means they will have access to everything. And data collector, see, everything is empty except for data collections and jobs. They can only see the collection of data. That's all. Other than that, they cannot see anything. So this is the clear understanding of how what which role can access what submodules and which in the performance analytics. Okay, so this is the high level view of planning your deployment, kind of. Yeah, this is the high level view. So first of all, we get a requirement. So first of all, they plan how the dashboard. What is the how should be the visualization of dashboard, and what is their requirement. First of all, we get that user story, we get that requirement from the customer. Then once we get that, we will start developing that, right? Obviously, we will start developing that. So what do we do first? We set up the source. Once we get the requirement, first we should understand, okay, as per the requirement, which table we need to use. Is it they are asking about knowledge articles visualization, then we need to use knowledge table. If they are asking some other requirement about some problem management, then we should use problem table, like that. It goes in that way. So first we need to understand what the table is. In the service now, generally we say database, right? In other than service now, generally we say database, where it is the source of data, where all the data is stored in it. So but coming to service now, tables are nothing but database. So everything is stored in the tables. It all goes with the tables and tables in service now. We all talk in this way. Which table are you talking about? Okay, this table. Okay, if we talk in that way, so it is kind of in database and service now is all tables. So we first decide that, and then we set up the indicator. In the indicator, we mention that table, whatever the table which we have decided, we mention that in the indicator. And we set up all the indicator. There is lot of stuff in it to do, how to do the setup and all. After that, then after we set up everything and with the conditions, how we want to view everything, then we do the data collection, like historic data and daily data. Once that data collection is done, then we do visualization. That is what our primary goal is, which the customer has asked for, the visualization. After doing all the process, the outcome will be the visualization. So this is the high level view, and this is in detailed view. You might not understand all the wordings over here for now. It's okay even if you understand this high level view. Okay. And this is just the example, like see, incident analytics. See, you just asked me the question, right? Is it only for incident or for any other modules also? So see, it can be done for any module. See, virtual agent analytics, vulnerability, HR case analytics. It's like if we have a HR table, okay, then they will ask us what is the resolution time of HR tickets. Then we will, the only difference is change the table. You choose the table which you want it to be. Sorry. So yeah, so that choose that
So who
table.
creates these just who creates these tables? I mean, who gives all this like I don't know. I mean, how they create the tables and how do we get it
Yes,
in?
yes, I got you. Yes, yes, I got you. So in ServiceNow, we have, like as I told you, a database is nothing but tables. So we have out of the box tables. So if I have to say, okay, you might think what out of the box is. Out of the
Yeah,
box,
I know that.
you know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, great, no problem. Which is inbuilt in ServiceNow, which we didn't create it. It is already there in ServiceNow. So yeah, in that way, we have out of the box tables, which ServiceNow has already provided to us. Like incidents, if we come to ITSM, we majorly focus on ITSM in this course, right? So IT service management. So we have incident table, problem table, change table, knowledge, all these tables. So these are all out of the box. So in one of the projects where I worked, they do not have what HR table. Sorry, HR module is actually out of the box in service now. But they didn't buy that because it is licensing and all. They should pay a lot of amount for that. So what we did, we created a custom table like HR table. We can create a table also. We can make use of out of the box tables, and we can create our own custom tables also. So once we create a table, then we can create records in it. Then it will again the same like how it works for incident table and all the records in it. Then we can go
Okay.
ahead and create a visualization for that table. It's like if you understand one, you can play with it. With any table,
Okay.
you
Okay.
can play
So
with
do
it.
developers do that activity, creating the tables and all, or
Exactly. Only developers do that. Other people don't do that. Support team also do not do that. Only the ServiceNow development team, who are the developers, work on all the customizations, development activities, everything. So any customizations we get, the script, there might be a lot of scripting, like server-side scripting, client-side scripting, everything only developers does. Only developers will have access to it, first of all. Yeah. Okay, where were we? Yeah, that's what. So there are pre-configured and dashboards. We have out-of-the-box dashboards. We can see that actually there are very, very great dashboards. We can understand how it works also for incident problem, all those. And if customer asks for customization, see, here we have to know one thing. Whenever we get any requirement, we right away shouldn't go for customizations. First, we should go and check the ServiceNow documents or product documentation. Do we have any out of the box for to serve the customer requirement? If we have out of the box, what's the need of going to customizations? It will affect the system performance. As much as possible, we shouldn't go for customizations. We should stick to OOTB. If at all, yes, it is for sure not possible using OOTB, and they have some high expectations or high customizations, then we should go for customizations. Until and unless then we shouldn't go for it. We should go for OOTB only. So we will see OOTB dashboards as on when we install the plugins. What are the OOTB dashboards got installed? We should also go through that right away. Going to customizations. Okay, so performance analytics data architecture. This is like going in detail again. So basically, we collect the data and then we refine the data. What is meant by data refinement? It's like, see, first thing is data collection, right? We're just collecting. We are not filtering anything. We are just collecting based. We are not putting any conditions like only this month data I want. Okay, we are putting. Sorry, like how much, what data you're expecting, historical data, 1 year, 2 year, that only that we put in the jobs. After we collect that, then if I want only the tickets with priority one, That is a condition which you are restricting it. We don't want the whole data, we want only the tickets which have the priority as one. Or if you do not know what priority is, let us suppose incident ticket has different categories.
Yeah,
So
I know. I know.
okay, fine. So only this particular category tickets we want. So we are restricting the data. We want only this particular data. That is data refinement. Where do we do all that? We do that in the indicator. Whatever, if I talk about performance analytics, I always use the word called indicator, indicator, indicator. So everything should be configured in the indicator. How you want that to look. So everything should be configured here. And then once that is done, you will not understand breakdowns now. So and then widgets and dashboards for the visualization. So that's what it is shown here. This is the data layer and this is the visualization layer. And okay, okay. Okay, fine. Let me talk about this a little. So this is the nothing but analytics hub, where once you create indicator sources, everything, and just leave about this widgets and dashboard. For now, you're done till here. Performance analytics indicator. You're done till here. Created indicator. So now you should visualize it, right? Okay. Using some of the other visualization, you should be able to see that. So you will be able to see that in the analytics hub. Before we create any widget or dashboard, we first view it in the analytics hub. Based on this, okay, if we want any more changes, then we again go back to the indicator, make the required changes, then again go ahead and view the analytics hub. It's like to and fro, seeing that and doing modifications, seeing that and doing modifications. Then we, if we feel yes, it is perfectly correct, then we go ahead and create a report so that we can see this visualization in the dashboard. And that dashboard can be shared to the end users or the project managers, the stakeholders, business people, everything. We cannot share this analytics hub for sure, right? It is just that we can view. So we should share it in a systematic format like a dashboard, because that is easy and user friendly to understand. This is for us to see how it works. We will go through it in deep in the later sessions. Okay, and okay. So this is the analytics hub is what I told, right? So here if you see, there is something called search breakdowns and elements. So if I just have to give a one definition of breakdown, it is nothing but categorization, if you understand. If we talk in the reporting perspective, it is called drill down. In general, if we talk, it is categorization. See, now we just talked about incidents. See, there is a contact type field in the incidents, right? Like incident is raised through email or through chat or through email or through call, different contact types. So if we want to categorize it based upon the contact type of incident, like I don't want to see all the open incidents, I only want to see the open incidents which are raised through what email. So what do? We go ahead and create a breakdown for that. We categorize it based upon the contact type. So in this search bar, see, if you will see that in the next slide. So okay, we talked about contact type, right? For suppose priority here. See here we there. So I want to view only the priority one. So that is why I've created this breakdown. So here, if you see, different lines represent different see, a violet line represents priority 1, orange represents priority 2. So you will understand, okay, there are 69 incidents with priority 1 and 125 incidents with priority 2. So I hope you got my point now. This is what I was talking about, categorization. So it is a very important. The indicators is the first major important in performance analytics, and then comes the breakdowns, which is categorization. Indicators are performance metrics, where you have to configure everything. How do you want the report to look? You have to remember these two for sure, both indicators and breakdowns. Okay, so what all we were talking from then, it is represented in this, whatever you to call it a snapshot. See, first we receive the requirement from the end users. or customers. You receive the requirements from customers, and in ServiceNow we call it as stories. Few call it as requirements, but as per the ServiceNow terminology, we call it as there is an agile development module in ServiceNow. In that agile development module, as on when we receive the it's like we receive the requirements as the user stories. So once we receive the user story, that will be assigned to a particular person in the development team, and that developer whom it is assigned to, he go ahead and works on that user story. That is nothing but requirement. So once he received that requirement, then what do he do? As I told you, these are the major things: indicator and breakdown. If you receive any requirement regarding performance analytics, the only thing you should do is first open the indicator and start creating it. That is what you should do first. Requirement is nothing but in creating an indicator when it comes to performance analytics. That is what it is here. And breakdown, so indicator source and automated indicators, these are the two different things. All comes under the indicators that you will understand later. Then
So,
breakdown source and automated breakdowns. Yes, yes, go ahead.
will you be covering a development portion also, like how to develop the
uh,
indicators or
exactly. That is the major thing, right? The performance analytics means only indicators. It's like
yeah.
that should come to your mind.
Okay,
Performance
okay.
analytics, okay, indicators, breakdowns, this all should come to your mind.
So developers
Yeah,
who they generally do all these activities, right? Creating indicators, breakdowns, and all.
exactly. Developers
Okay,
do that. Yeah,
okay.
exactly. We do that and share the dashboard to different teams. Yeah. So then, yeah, that's what. These are all are there.
No,
So
why I
we
am asking it because my role will be, gathering the requirements, creating the user stories, and then sometimes developing creating all these things like creating the breakdowns, indicators, and all. So that's the reason I wanted to.
Okay, so you're not into purely development, right? If I
Yeah, yeah,
understand, it's like
yeah.
kind of you're in a leading position,
Yes,
so
yes.
you'll do the high level
I am a
things,
BA.
and sometimes,
Yeah,
okay,
actually, I'm a BA, but if there is a time, if it is a need, then I need to develop also. So that's the
I
reason.
got you.
Yeah, it's like full
I
stack
got
role.
you.
Yeah,
Hey, first of all, what's your good name?
it's Kshitija.
What?
Kshitija.
Kshitija.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I guess it's Kshitija.
Kshitija. Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. And the other one? Um, sorry, I do not know your name.
It's Ashish.
Ashish. Okay. Ashish, may I know about you? Like in which level you are into development or leading or managerial?
So I work as all in one kind of guy. I'm like a senior developer, architect, and a product owner. So
Okay.
I'm trying to move towards management, but again, I have a pet project that needs me to get used to performance analytics as such. So I'm just trying to get like I've built my integration for performance analytics with Power BI, but I'm just trying to get a wholesome idea of how it works so that I can create some kind of orchestration between both of them so that I mean the data getting from one end to the other and then building those based on simple UIs. Like I have a scoped application that I have to build. So I just needed some kind of
Mm,
in-depth knowledge on this. And I was like, it would save me time if I talk to people who already have done this, right? Rather than
okay.
me figuring it out on my own from scratch.
So if I understand, in order to do all that, whatever you're talking, orchestration between this, that, so you need to have understanding on how to create the dashboards using performance analytics, right?
Yes, kind of. I mean, basically, I'm just looking for what are the step-by-step instructions to create what do you call a widget for a performance analytics, right?
Yes,
And
exactly. The
then that
step-by-step procedure to get the
right,
widget.
Right. So that will help me set up the scripts, right, on my end to do it
Yes.
through automation. I'm giving like my plan is to combine something similar to how virtual agents work, right? And then NPL within ServiceNow, like you search for something and the system automatically creates everything for you without.
Okay.
So it's a complex thing, but this is just the step one, right? To get an understanding of what it takes to build a dashboard out of it.
Good, good. Good to know the basics, by the way. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Um,
yeah, with respect to ServiceNow, I do have enough experience with it. So I'm just going to look for you to do what you're doing, right? Train the way
mhm.
Shreeja needs it to be. And if I have questions, I'll just ask you about them.
Sure, sure. By the way, you're working on the huge stuff. Great stuff. That's great.
Uh-huh. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, one is new to ServiceNow, and yeah, it will work out, no problem. I think I understood you both of your backgrounds. And no problem, don't worry, Kshitija. I hope because you do not know ServiceNow, right? You will understand it. Like I will not go directly. Let us do one thing. The
I
first
can do one thing like I can send you the description or my roles and responsibilities specific to ServiceNow so that you can understand more about it, more about my role and what do I need to learn, or if this is the perfect or this is the right course for me or not, or whether we can fit into it. You can just let me know.
Sure, sure, not a problem. You can share that with Nilima, and Nilima will talk to me.
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not at all a problem. Yes, see, it's like if you want me to focus on something, we can also do that. That is not a problem. Yes, any more questions you guys have?
I'm good as of now.
I don't
Okay,
have
and
anything.
Ashish.
No, I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay, great.
So will
No
you be
problem.
giving some assignments or to practice or something like
Yes, yes, I will be giving assignments only then you will be used to it. Or else if I tell now, then you will forget it the other day again it'll become tough.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's up to you how many you want to do, but it's like you should follow the course, right? So whatever I explain also, you should create a person. I will show how to create a open a personal development in you have your PDI?
No.
Okay, so no problem. I will tell that. So firstly, let's focus on, okay, first session on Monday, whenever it starts, let's go on into complete basic, like what do you need to have in order for us to start the course? What are the prerequisites you need to have? Let us focus on that very, very basic. Then later we can start the course. That's better, right?
Yeah, yeah, that will work for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what